Before we really get into this, let me ask you something, Tom. When you hear the words, start a conversation, what do you feel first? Excitement or fear?
Honestly, a small fear, even now, because starting means exposing yourself.
Yes, that feeling is very familiar for many people listening right now.
They might be thinking, my English is not good. What if I sound strange?
And that thought alone can stop the voice.
Exactly. The conversation ends before it begins.
But what if starting a conversation was not about speaking well?
What if it was just about being human for a moment?
Just two people sharing a small moment.
No pressure, no performance.
Just a simple hi, a breath, and a pause.
That pause is important because in that pause, fear slows down.
And when fear slows down, words can come.
So today, let's talk like real people,
Slowly,
gently,
with space to think.
and with permission to feel nervous.
Because nervous does not mean weak,
It means you care.
and caring is the first step to connection.
So if you are listening right now, maybe sitting quietly,
Feeling a little unsure,
stay with us.
you do not need to speak.
Just listen.
And let the conversation carry you forward, slowly, naturally, as we begin talking about how real conversations actually start, not in textbooks, but in real life, in small moments, when someone decides to open their mouth and say, "Today we're talking about how to start, continue, and end a conversation naturally, and I want this to feel very real, like two people sitting and talking, not like a lesson." So, Tom, let me ask you something simple. When someone talks to you for the first time, what makes you feel relaxed?
I feel relaxed when the other person sounds calm and friendly. Even a small smile in the voice helps, and when they use simple words, I feel less pressure.
Yes, the voice matters a lot, even more than the words sometimes. So let's start with the first moment, starting a conversation. Many learners feel nervous here. They think they need a perfect sentence.
That fear is very common, but a conversation does not need a perfect start. It just needs a human start.
I like that, a human start. So what is a human start in simple English?
Something very normal, like, hi, how are you? Or, hello, are you new here? Or even, excuse me, can I ask you something?
And notice, these sentences are short, slow, and soft, not strong, not fast.
Yes, and after you say it, you can pause. You do not need to rush. The pause gives space to the other person.
Many learners think silence is bad, but silence can be kind.
Silence can feel safe. It gives time to think, and thinking is okay.
So imagine I'm a learner and I meet someone at a bus stop. I feel nervous. My heart is fast. What can I say?
You can say something about the place, like, this bus is late today, or it's very busy here.
That feels easy because I'm not talking about myself too much.
Exactly. Talking about the situation is a good bridge. It connects two people without pressure.
And when the other person answers, the conversation starts moving.
Yes, then the next skill is continuing the conversation. This is where many people stop.
They answer with one word, like yes or no, and then everything feels empty.
Right. So to continue, you can add a small extra sentence. Even a small one changes everything.
For example, if I say, "This bus is late today," and you say, "Yes," that stops. But if you say, "Yes, it is late again," now there's life.
And then you can ask a gentle question, like, do you take this bus often?
Questions are very powerful, but they must be soft, not like an interview.
Soft questions feel caring. They show interest, not pressure.
Many learners worry, what if I ask a wrong question?
Most people are kind. They understand, and a simple question is rarely wrong.
Yes, you can just show listening, say things like, "I see," "Oh really," or "That sounds nice."
These small responses help the conversation breathe.
They tell the other person, "I am here, I am listening. Let's talk about continuing a bit more because this is the heart of a conversation.
I agree. This is where confidence grows.
One thing I notice is repetition, repeating a key word the other person says.
That is a very good skill. For example, if someone says, I work night shifts, you can say, night shifts sound tiring.
That shows understanding, not just language, but feeling.
Feeling is very important. Language without feeling sounds empty.
And when learners add feeling words like nice, hard, fun, difficult, their English feels more natural.
Yes, and those words are simple, A2 level, but very powerful.
Now, let's gently touch the last part, ending a conversation naturally, not suddenly, not rude.
Ending is also a skill, and it does not need big words.
Many learners just disappear, they stop talking, and it feels strange.
A natural ending has a reason, even a small reason.
Like, I need to go now, or I should get back to work.
Exactly. And you can add one warm line before you go, like, it was nice talking with you.
That sentence is very friendly, very human.
And you can smile in your voice again. The smile comes back.
Some people worry that ending a conversation means rejection.
But it is not rejection. It is just time moving.
That is comforting to hear.
Conversations have energy. When the energy slows, it is okay to stop.
And stopping in a kind way keeps the door open for next time.
Yes, the other person feels respected.
So if we look at the full flow, start with something simple, continue with listening and soft questions, and end with a clear but kind sentence.
That flow helps learners feel safe.
Safety is important because fear blocks words.
When fear goes down, words come out naturally.
I want learners to feel that they do not need to be perfect, they just need to be present.
Presence is more important than grammar.
And even if you make a mistake, the conversation can still feel warm.
Sometimes mistakes make the conversation more real,
That is true. People often smile and help.
and that help builds connection.
Let me share a small example. Imagine a learner says, I am not good English.
Many people will say, it is okay, or you are doing fine.
That response gives confidence.
Confidence grows step by step, conversation by conversation.
So when you practice this, practice with kindness to yourself.
Be patient, speak slowly, breathe.
And remember, every conversation is a chance, not a test.
A chance to connect, even for a short moment.
I feel this topic is very close to real life because everyone talks every day.
Yes, and learning how to start, continue, and end it naturally makes daily life easier.
Even buying something, asking for help, or meeting someone new.
These small talks build big confidence.
And confidence changes how your voice sounds.
When your voice is calm, people feel calm too.
That calm feeling is what we want learners to experience.
And once they feel it, they want to speak more.
Speaking more leads to better English.
It becomes a positive circle.
I like that idea, a positive circle, not pressure, not fear.
Just slow, real human conversation.
And if one conversation feels awkward, it does not mean the next one will be.
Each conversation is new,
New moment, new energy.
and new chances to try again.
So if someone is listening right now and feels shy, what would you gently say to them?
I would say it is okay to feel shy. Start with one short sentence today.
Just one sentence?
Yes, and listen. Listening is also part of speaking.
That takes pressure off.
And when you feel ready, add one more sentence.
Step by step.
Slowly, naturally, like learning to walk.
And over time, conversations feel less scary.
They start to feel normal.
Normal is a good goal.
Normal means relaxed,
Relaxed English is beautiful English.
even with simple words.
Simple words, warm voice, and real feeling.
That combination makes conversations work.
And when a conversation ends, you can walk away feeling proud.
Proud because you tried.
Trying matters more than perfection.
Always.
I think many learners need to hear that again and again.
Yes, repetition helps the heart, not just the brain.
So starting, continuing, and ending are not separate skills,
They are connected.
like a gentle flow.
A flow that you can learn.
And once you feel that flow, you stop translating in your head so much.
You start responding.
Responding feels lighter.
And more natural.
I notice that when learners stop worrying about how to end, they actually enjoy the middle more.
That is true, because the fear of stopping disappears.
They know it is okay to say, I have to go now.
That sentence gives freedom.
Freedom to speak without fear.
And freedom is very motivating.
Motivation keeps learners practicing.
Practice brings progress.
Progress brings confidence.
And confidence brings more conversations.
It all connects.
Just like people connect through talking.
Talking is such a human thing.
Yes, from the heart, not from a textbook.
And that is what we want to show today, that English conversation is not a performance.
It is a shared moment.
A shared moment where both people matter.
When learners feel that, their English voice becomes more alive,
More expressive.
more emotional.
And emotion makes language real.
Real language stays longer in the mind,
And in daily life, that real language comes out when you need it,
without forcing,
without fear.
just naturally. Like saying,
Like saying the first thing that comes, even if it is simple.
even if it's not perfect.
Because the goal is connection, not perfection.
Connection makes people feel seen.
And when you feel seen, you want to speak again.
That desire is very important.
So the next time someone listens to this and goes outside, they might try a small conversation. Let's imagine this like a real podcast, slow and calm. And Tom, I want to start very gently today because many people listening feel nervous even before they speak. So tell me honestly, when you were learning another language, what did you feel first?
I felt fear first, not because of words, but because I was scared people would judge me.
That feeling is very real, and many listeners feel the same right now.
Yes, and I want them to know that fear is normal. It does not mean you're weak.
When someone feels fear, starting a conversation feels like a big step.
It does. So we make the step very small,
Very small. Like what?
like a simple hi with a soft voice.
Just one word?
One word is enough to open a door.
I like that image. Opening a door, not running inside.
Yes, you just open it a little.
Many learners think they must talk a lot to sound good.
But talking a lot is not the goal. Connecting is the goal.
Connection starts with feeling safe.
And safety comes from slow speech.
Slow speech helps the listener and the speaker.
Exactly. Your brain has time to breathe.
Breathing is important. We forget that when we're nervous.
When you breathe, your voice becomes calmer.
And a calm voice makes the other person relaxed too.
It becomes shared calm.
So let's stay with starting a conversation a bit longer, because this is where many people stop.
Yes, they stop before they start.
If someone is standing in a shop or an office or a street, what is a safe way to begin?
Talk about what you see, something real.
Like, it is very hot today.
Yes, weather is simple and human.
And even if the other person only says yes, the conversation is not dead.
Not dead, just quiet.
Quiet moments are okay.
Very okay.
Learners often think silence means failure.
Silence can mean thinking
Thinking is part of speaking.
and listening.
Listening is half of conversation.
Sometimes more than half.
When you listen well, you do not need many words.
Your face, your eyes, your small sounds show interest.
Like, or oh.
Yes, those sounds are language too.
That is very comforting.
Language is not only sentences.
Now, let's gently move into continuing a conversation.
This is where confidence grows slowly
When the conversation starts, some learners freeze.
because they think, what next?
That question creates pressure.
So instead of thinking, what next, think, what did they say?
Focus on their words.
Exactly. One word is enough.
Can you explain that with an example?
Sure. If someone says, I work at night, you can say, night, and pause.
Just repeating.
Repeating shows listening.
And then you can add a feeling.
Like, that sounds tiring.
Feeling words are powerful.
They connect hearts, not just minds.
Many learners avoid feeling words,
But simple ones are easy and safe.
like good, hard, nice, busy.
Yes, very simple, very real.
When you add a feeling word, the conversation feels warmer.
Warmer conversations last longer.
And when a conversation lasts longer, learners feel proud.
Pride is very important.
Pride pushes you to speak again.
Exactly.
Let's talk about questions, because questions help continue naturally.
Soft questions, not strong ones.
What is a soft question?
A question that shows care, not control.
Like, do you like your job?
Yes, that is gentle.
Not, why do you work there?
That feels heavy.
Tone matters.
Tone changes everything.
Even a simple question can feel scary if the tone is sharp.
That is why calm voice is key.
Calm voice, slow speed.
And small pauses.
Pauses give space.
Space makes conversation human.
When learners rush, they feel more mistakes.
And mistakes feel louder when you rush.
When you slow down, mistakes feel smaller.
Sometimes they disappear.
Or the other person helps you.
Helping is natural.
People like to help.
Yes, most people do.
Now let's talk about emotions inside the conversation.
Emotions guide the flow.
If you feel relaxed, the conversation flows.
If you feel tense, the words block.
So what can learners do when they feel tense?
First, notice it.
Just notice.
Say inside, I feel nervous.
Naming the feeling helps.
Then breathe once, slowly.
That small action changes the body.
And the mind follows.
When the body relaxes, words return.
Slowly, but they return.
I want Google Studio AI to feel this emotion, not just read words.
Then we must keep the pace gentle.
Yes, very gentle.
Like real life, not acting.
Real pauses, real thinking.
Real uncertainty.
Uncertainty is okay.
It makes you human.
Now, let's stay with continuing the conversation a bit more.
One strong tool is sharing a small personal detail.
Small, not deep.
Yes, very small.
Like, I also take this bus.
Exactly. That creates balance.
Balance makes conversation comfortable.
It feels equal.
Not one person talking, one person silent.
Equal energy.
Learners fear sharing about themselves.
Because they think they need perfect grammar.
But simple grammar is enough.
I like it. I work here. I live nearby.
Very simple.
Very effective.
Now, let's slowly move toward ending a conversation.
Ending is often misunderstood,
Many learners think ending is rude.
but a clear ending is polite.
Clear and kind.
Always kind.
What does a kind ending sound like?
I need to go now with a warm tone.
Tone again.
Tone is everything.
And maybe add one soft line.
It was nice talking with you.
That line leaves a good feeling.
A good feeling stays longer than words.
Ending does not erase the conversation.
It completes the moment.
Completion feels peaceful.
Peaceful endings build confidence.
Because you know you can leave without fear.
Fear of silence, fear of awkwardness.
When that fear goes away, you enjoy the conversation more.
Very true.
I want learners to feel that they control the ending.
Control gives safety.
Safety gives courage.
Courage gives voice.
Voice gives connection.
Connection gives meaning.
Meaning makes learning easier.
Everything is linked.
Let's imagine a learner right now, listening quietly.
They might be thinking, can I really do this?
And the answer is yes, slowly.
Slowly is important.
Not today perfect, but today one step.
One step is enough.
Maybe today they just listen.
Listening is practice.
Maybe tomorrow they say one sentence.
That is progress.
Progress is not loud.
It is quiet
Quiet progress lasts.
and builds confidence from inside.
When confidence comes from inside, it stays.
External praise helps, but inner calm helps more.
Inner calm changes how you speak.
Your voice becomes steady.
Your eyes feel softer.
Your body feels lighter.
And people respond to that.
They feel comfortable.
Comfort invites conversation.
Conversation invites practice.
Practice invites improvement.
Improvement invites confidence.
And the circle continues.
Without pressure.
Without fear.
Just human interaction.
Talking, listening, feeling.
Feeling is key.
Because language without feeling sounds empty.
And learners do not want empty English.
They want living English.
English they can use.
In shops, offices, streets.
With friends, strangers.
Short conversations matter.
Very much.
Not every conversation needs to be long.
Even 1 minute is valuable.
1 minute of real English.
Is better than 10 minutes of silence.
Silence with fear.
Yes.
Silence with comfort is okay.
But silence with fear blocks growth.
So we aim for gentle speaking.
Gentle but consistent.
Consistency is more important than intensity.
A little every day.
Every small conversation adds up.
Like drops of water.
Slowly filling a cup.
And one day you notice the cup is full.
That moment feels surprising.
And very satisfying.
But it comes from small moments.
Small starts, gentle continues, kind endings.
All natural.
All human.
As we talk now, I imagine the listener sitting quietly.
Maybe nodding.
Maybe feeling seen.
Feeling seen is powerful.
When you feel seen, fear reduces.
And curiosity grows.
Curiosity pushes you to speak.
Not because you must, but because you want.
Wanting to speak feels very different.
It feels lighter.
And lighter feelings help words flow.
Flow is the goal.
Not speed.
Not perfection.
Just flow.
Natural flow.
And that flow can stop and start.
Like real life.
Conversations are not straight lines.
They move, pause, change.
And that is okay.
Very okay.
Learners need permission to be imperfect.
I want to give them that permission.
You are allowed to pause.
Allowed to think.
Allowed to make mistakes.
Allowed to end a conversation.
Allowed to start again.
Again and again.
Every time a little easier.
A little calmer.
A little more confident.
And that confidence shows in the voice.
Voice carries emotion.
Emotion carries meaning.
Meaning connects people.
And connection is why we speak.
Not to show grammar.
But to share moments.
Moments like this.
Two people talking calmly.
No rush.
No pressure.
Just presence.
Presence is powerful.
And as the listener stays with us, listening to this slow conversation, they might notice their own breathing slowing down.
Their shoulders relaxing.
Their mind becoming quieter.
And in that quiet, English feels less scary.
It feels possible.
Possible is a strong word.
Because possible means reachable.
And reachable means you can try.
Trying is the start.
Always.
And that start can happen any moment.
At any place.
With any person.
With even a simple sentence.
Even with a soft voice.
Even with a small smile.
That smile can be felt even on the phone.
Even through a microphone.
Even through AI voice.
Emotion travels.
That is why we speak slowly.
So emotion has space.
Space to be felt.
Not rushed.
As we continue talking like this, the listener stays inside the rhythm.
A calm rhythm.
And rhythm helps memory.
Memory helps learning.
Learning helps confidence.
Confidence helps speaking.
And speaking helps life feel easier.
Especially in another language.
So when the next conversation comes, they may remember this calm feeling.
And they may say to themselves, I can start slowly.
I can listen.
I can continue gently.
And I can end kindly.
And that thought alone reduces fear.
Fear reduces, voice opens.
And when the voice opens, English starts to feel like a part of them,
Not something outside,
not something heavy,
but something they carry naturally.
and that feeling stays.
It stays through the day,
Through small interactions
through moments of silence.
and moments of speech.
And as they move through those moments, the next sentence forms quietly in their mind, not rushed, not forced, just there, waiting. And when they are ready, they speak it, and the conversation moves again. And they stay with it, present, calm, listening, feeling. And the cycle continues, gently, naturally, one moment flowing into the next, without pressure, without fear. And as that flow continues, their confidence grows quietly, and their English becomes more and more a part of who they are, and they find themselves thinking less about how to start, how to continue, how to end, because it begins to feel natural, like breathing, like walking, like being present in a shared moment. And as they stay in that moment, the next thought begins to form, the next sentence begins to rise, and they are still here, still listening, still engaged, still inside the conversation, ready to say the next simple, honest line, slowly, clearly, with feeling. And that line begins to come out as they start to say, as we come closer to the last part, I want to slow everything down even more, because endings also carry emotion. And Tom, many learners feel something heavy here, like they are losing the connection.
Yes, endings can feel emotional, not because of words, but because of attachment.
That attachment shows you cared about the conversation.
And caring is a good sign.
So when you feel that small sadness or hesitation before ending, it is normal.
Very normal.
Ending a conversation does not mean the connection disappears.
It just pauses.
Like a comma, not a full stop.
That is a nice way to see it.
So let's show learners how to end slowly, gently, with warmth.
The first step is to signal the ending.
Signal, not shock.
Exactly. No sudden silence.
What is a soft signal?
I should go soon, or I have to leave in a moment.
That gives time.
Time helps both people adjust.
Adjusting reduces awkwardness.
And awkwardness often comes from surprise.
When there is no surprise, there is calm.
Calm endings feel respectful.
After the signal, what comes next?
A feeling sentence.
Like, I enjoyed talking with you.
Yes, that sentence carries warmth
Even simple warmth feels deep.
because it is honest,
Learners sometimes skip this.
because they feel shy.
But this line is very important.
It leaves a good memory.
Memories matter,
People remember how they felt.
more than what was said.
So a warm ending builds confidence for the next time,
Next time feels less scary.
because the last time felt safe.
Safety stays in the body.
And the body remembers.
I want learners to feel that ending well is also success,
Not failure,
not escape.
but completion.
Completion feels satisfying.
It gives closure.
Closure gives peace.
Peace makes you want to speak again.
That cycle is important.
Very important.
Now, imagine a learner ending a conversation and walking away.
Their heart is still beating a little fast.
But there is also relief.
In pride.
Pride is quiet but strong.
That quiet pride says, I did it.
I spoke.
I stayed.
I ended kindly.
And nothing bad happened.
That realization changes everything.
It breaks fear.
Fear loses power.
And English feels lighter.
When English feels lighter, learners use it more.
Use brings comfort.
Comfort brings fluency.
Slowly, naturally,
Not overnight.
but step by step.
I want to talk a little about self-talk at the end.
That inner voice.
Yes, what learners say to themselves after a conversation.
That voice can help or hurt.
If the voice says, I was bad.
Confidence goes down.
But if the voice says, I tried.
Confidence grows.
So after ending a conversation, say something kind to yourself.
Like, I did my best.
Or, I was brave.
Bravery matters.
Speaking another language is brave.
Always.
Even one sentence.
Especially one sentence.
Because that sentence breaks silence.
And silence can feel heavy.
Breaking it feels powerful.
Even if the voice shakes,
Shaking is okay.
it means you care.
Now, Tom, if you could say one gentle thing to a learner right now, what would it be?
I would say, you do not need to rush.
Slow is good.
Slow is strong.
That is a beautiful idea.
When you move slowly, you stay present.
Presence makes English real,
Real English connects people,
and connection is the heart of conversation.
not grammar.
Not perfect sentences.
Just shared moments.
Moments like starting with hi,
Continuing with listening.
ending with kindness.
That simple flow is enough.
Enough to live in English.
Enough to grow.
Enough to feel confident.
Enough to try again.
And that's all learners really need.
Permission to be human.
To pause,
To think.
to feel,
To speak.
and to stop.
Without guilt.
Without fear.
Just naturally.
As we sit here and slow down our voices, I want listeners to feel this calm.
Let it enter the body.
Let the shoulders drop.
Let the breath slow.
Because this calm is how conversations feel when they go well.
Not fast.
Not perfect.
Just calm.
And that calm can be learned.
By listening.
By practicing.
By being kind to yourself.
Every conversation is practice.
Even short ones.
Even quiet ones.
Especially real ones.
And when you end a conversation today or tomorrow, remember this feeling.
Remember, you are allowed to leave.
And allowed to feel good about it.
That good feeling stays.
It stays for the next conversation.
And the next.
And slowly, English becomes part of your daily life.
Not a test,
Not a fear.
just a tool
A human tool.
to connect,
To share.
to understand.
So, if you are listening right now, sitting quietly, maybe smiling a little,
That smile is progress.
that calm feeling is progress.
And when you are ready, later today or another day,
You will speak again.
maybe one sentence,
Maybe two.
and that is enough
Always enough.
because you are learning.
And learning is not loud,
It is gentle,
just like this conversation.
slow,
Warm.
human.
So let's stay with that feeling for a moment
Let it settle
and carry it with you,
into your next conversation.
whenever that may be.
And when that moment comes,
You will know how to start
how to continue
and how to end.
naturally.
And with that calm confidence, we gently pause our conversation here. And I hope you take this feeling with you. And until next time, keep speaking slowly, kindly, and with trust in yourself.